Good morning. How are you, May? Or afternoon or evening, I guess. It's morning for me.
Good morning. It's also morning here. Sorry, I will be most of the time offline.
No problem. No problem. So, hi, my name's Ken. What program were you in ISU?
I was
and what year?
Last space studies program from last year, from 2022.
Nice. Okay, Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah. So, where are you located?
I'm located in Porto. Actually, so yeah, based in Portugal, but I'm not Portuguese. I'm Estonian.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure out where folks are when they connect to this thing, because it's hard to come up with these times when they're and I actually found out last time we did this that it was like way too late for Australia. It was like 11:30 in the evening or something for Australia, so it's actually too late for them.
Because I'm based in Europe, but that's my lunchtime, so I thought it's a good timing.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Yeah, that worked out really well. Different people are going to have different things. Okay, perfect. You're the first person on, but hey, hi. Where are you? Are you working in Porto?
Yes.
Or are you student? Are you still a student?
Where do you work? I work for University of Porto for the technology transfer office part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So it's cool.
Yeah. So I guess so you're brand new to ISU, which is great. Did you have a good time in Portugal?
Yes.
What department were you in?
Sorry?
What department were you in
human performance in space.
Okay. Is that your background?
Not really, but interested in that. So yeah, and seeing if I can somehow maybe get involved. Recently, I'm still waiting for the reply, but together with some more students, because I went back also to a bachelor level here in the university. We proposed for the ESA Academy Petri campaign for the parabolic flights, an experiment which is related to human physiology. So we'll see.
Nice.
Hopefully we get selected,
exciting.
but never know.
Well, that's it. It's a tough world out there. Doing research is hard, because but I totally get it. That's exciting. So how did you hear about ISU in the first place?
Actually, through LinkedIn. I didn't know anything about it. Yes.
That's good.
So it was
But you were always interested in space, or?
It's quite recent thing. It just came up. Yeah. Also, actually, through a friend of mine who was working back then for the for TRISH, for the Translational Research Institute for Space Health. So she published also something through LinkedIn, one of their webinars, and I think so. I was like, that's interesting. Let me see what it is. So yeah, it started from there.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, and I've worked with some of the folks in TRISH and in the human performance area and the human, the effects of like parabolic space flight on humans and stuff. So I'm familiar with that community. It's a pretty fun community.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, let me. Nobody else on, it's just you and me, and that's what these are supposed to be. These are supposed to be just like open conversations and all that sort of stuff. So whatever questions you might have, I'm more than happy to talk about.
Okay. I don't know. I was just, because I'm seeing that I'm alone here on this call, like no other alumni join. Do you maybe want me to join later when you would do the presentation? Hopefully more people from Europe would be signing up, or how do you feel like? I think I lost the connection. Maybe.
sorry about that. I guess I got cut off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I was asking from you that how do you prefer? Because it's just me here. Do you want? Because I can probably sign up for another later call as well to hear the presentation. Because I'm curious about like what you are up to and what are the next plans. But I don't want you to give the trouble either. Just yeah.
Well, I'm going to be on no matter what. So if you've got the time and I've got the time, I have no problem because this basically is a rehearsal for me. So because I'm doing this 2 more times today, right? And I mean, if there was 1 person on or 100 people on, it's kind of I'm here no matter what. So I mean, so I could answer any of your specific questions. So in terms of like presentation, you know, I come on and say hi, howdy, my name's Ken. You know, I introduce myself. I'm an aerospace engineer, graduated a long time ago, got a master's in mechanical. And then about 6 years after I started working at NASA Lewis, NASA Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, Ohio. I was working on liquid rocket engines and stuff. And about 6 years into that, I got selected to go to the summer program, the Space Studies program, 1989. So this is number 2. This is the second one they held. And so I was, it was in Strasbourg on that year. And came back like you, super excited, right? And then I helped write a couple proposals for NASA in Cleveland to be affiliated with ISU. And one of those proposals was to bring the Space Studies program to Cleveland. And we bid for 94, but it kind of got pushed to 98. At the end of 96, ISU said, hey, NASA, could you send us somebody to help run the summer program, the Space Studies program? He said, oh, we got 2 people for you. There's Ken, who's from the program. He knows it very well, and he doesn't go anywhere without his wife. So you get Ken and Gretchen together. And so my wife and I went to Strasbourg, and we helped run the program when it was in Houston in 1997, in Cleveland in 1998, and then in Thailand in 1999. Wow. So I was part of ISU in Strasbourg, working with the staff, helping run the program. We had a director of the SSP, her name was Lucy Stoyak, teaches space law. You might have met her.
No, this year we had someone from the Netherlands. It's challenging, the internet connection.
I don't know about the story we were on, but anyway, worked at ISU for a while, and then came back to Cleveland, but did a bunch of stuff, ended up working for the government for 33 years, left the government just recently. So then I took this job with VP Vice President of North American operations, but I'm, reaching out to all alumni to hear the stories and to answer any questions. So that's me. Oh, by the way, I got a PhD in organization theory and organizational change and how industries emerge, basically. So yeah. And that was fun.
So that could be very useful for the ISU.
Well, and that's right. And actually, it could have been very useful for my employer at the Federal Aviation Administration. But a lot of times people are focused on the problems in front of them right now, and they don't think about these bigger level problems. So anyway, it's that kind of thing, and that's why money goes into like solving today's problems and not research that needs to be done to help solve today's problems, right? So I mean, it's the same thing. So anyway, so I'm pretty familiar with ISU, and so talking to the alumni is super important. So what we're doing now is, we're working on keeping the SSP humming like a finely tuned machine. And so I'm working, like yesterday, I was in Cornell, at Cornell Tech in New York City. I'm trying to see if we could hold a summer program there. because that would be a hoot on Roosevelt Island. So we're looking for sites like that. I'm looking to get a permanent presence in the US somehow, or in North America somehow. So we're looking at that. But in the same time, we're trying to reach out to alumni. So I thought I would do these calls. And one of the things we're talking about doing is, or one of the things we started asking alumni to do, because they want to stay connected. I mean, and they want to be connected to each other and stay connected to ISU. So one of the things we're asking alumni to do is to not only participate in these Zoom calls and give us ideas of what, maybe make connections, but also, and I'll ask you to do this too, and it's supposed to come out in the next newsletter, is what we want alumni to do is send us a brief video. Just pull out your phone, maybe hold it in landscape mode and say, hey, my name is Ken, I work for so-and-so, I attended ISU at the SSP in 1989, and the major benefit I got from ISU was it created this incredible network of majorly connected high-level folks in the space industry. And as time goes on, they just go higher and higher in the organization. And it's an incredible network. Boom, end of videos, you send it in, and bada bing, we can use those wherever and however. We're trying to figure out how we might want to use them, and just get ideas, and if nothing else, get major talking points of that we could sell to sponsors and stuff. So that'll be my pitch. If you want, send me, it'll come out in the newsletter and you'll have all the information. Send it, send a 10 to 15 second video, nothing major.
So sorry, there's like a regular newsletter? Because I don't think that our last SSP members have been joined to the newsletter. I don't receive any regular communication.
Okay, well, that's a I am going to write that down, because that's a
I know when I was in Paris for the ISC,
so I wouldn't say it's a regular
Geraldine
newsletter, but it is a newsletter that comes out.
Yeah, but
often.
I asked actually Geraldine, and she said that our team was not added yet, and in our team there was some I had some team members who had been to the previous one online version, and they are receiving. So we are officially not joined yet to the alumni network, I would say. I don't know. We had maybe some bad experiences that they did not like.
I will look into it. I will look into it.
Maybe they are afraid to add us, but yeah, just that you know.
That's exactly it. That is exactly it. That's exactly it. I'm sure.
Yeah, but we are officially not there.
No, and that's good. Good to know.
Yeah, but well,
I'll make sure
I'm
that
very
you are,
happy
and hopefully
I'm very happy with the experience that we had. I guess there are always things that people will complain about, but for me personally, I really benefited from the program. So I think it's important to keep it alive and somehow overcome the things that might make people to complain. But yeah, but there will always people complaining.
I mean,
so.
I heard, that number one, people will always complain. There's always going to be a distribution of reactions. So you can't get too upset about, fringe, the very tails of the complaints or the major, congratulations, the good comments. Some things, I thought some of the complaints probably were reasonable. Some of them probably weren't. And so it's just a matter of, moving forward and, addressing the real problems. And, just because one person says something doesn't mean, it might have some validity, but it doesn't mean it has to be solved right away necessarily. So it's a hard thing to keep everybody happy all the time. Yeah. So other than that, I mean, we've got these other smaller courses that ISU runs. The Space Studies program, of course, is the major flagship program, as well as the MSS. The MSS is close, I think. All indications are very positive that the MSS is going to get accredited.
Wow, that's great.
In the near future. So I'm really excited about that. There was a really good meeting with the accreditation organization just recently. And so that's gonna, that would be a major accomplishment for ISU once that goes through.
Are you gonna be able to keep it as a one-year course, or it would need to be a bit longer?
I think it's going to be a bit longer. I think, there are modules and all that sort of stuff, and you earn so many, credits or units in the different modules. So depending how the student does it, but I think it's going to be a little bit longer than 1 year. So whatever, you know.
But as long as you
ISU
get it accredited, that would be nice.
Yeah, no, and so in the United States, since we won't be doing an MSS program here, but you know, if we have these smaller courses, there is a way for these smaller courses, including the SSP, to get them accredited as a continuing education, a professional development program. And so we're going to work on doing that for these other programs, because then that puts us on certain lists in the government that makes it acceptable and easier for the government agencies to take advantage. And that's been part of the problem with having ISU in France. The US government, it makes it harder. They can participate, but they have to jump through a lot more paperwork hoops to get, you know, to send folks to the program. And so, you know, we're going to try to make it easier on everybody to do that, because last thing you want to do is make it hard for people to buy your product and to, you know, to.
Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, no, we're really trying to, you know, keep the train moving down the tracks and keep the interest up. Brazil is coming up. So, right. The SSP Brazil is coming up. And so I was down there in November, and it's going to be pretty incredible. Brazil is an amazing place. And the people are great, and the food is great, and the nature is great, and the site is really interesting. It's very, very nice. It's going to be on a site where their national like space research organization and their national space kind of program activities are centered, but it's on a military base. And so so it's going to be going in and out of a military base every day. So it's kind of wild. Yeah. So it's a little bit different, but you know, whatever. It was funny because when I was down there in November, and I don't know if you've been following all the stuff going on in Brazil, but they had sort of like an American style insurgents on their capital, and that was squelched. And so, but when we were there, going in and out of the facility, outside the gates, there were all these people, you know, wearing the flag and dressed in green and yellow. And of course, it was during the World Cup time. I was there during World Cup time.
Okay, yeah, it was the World Cup time.
Yeah, but I mean, these are the folks, the Bolsonaro folks, Bolsonaristas, I guess, these were those folks who supported Bolsonaro, who had lost. So it was kind of wild to see. But the Sao Jose dos Campos, which is the city where the SSP will be, is all in. They're going to be buses with ISU logos on them, and you know, it's going to be.
Yeah, I've been to Brazil twice, but yeah, I don't really know that university. Yeah, but yeah, it's nice there. So yeah, it's a good choice of destination.
You know, it's about 90 kilometers, 70 or 80 or 90 kilometers north of Sao Paulo. So you know, you fly into the airport and then you head north a little bit. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be a good program.
So it will be not so close as in Portugal, Oeiras was to Lisbon. So if the participants want to go to the city or something, that will be trickier.
Well, I mean, that'll be trickier. There are planned trips for the summer to go to Rio. And so we'll see what happens. It's going to be a little trickier because going to the big city will be tough. Like I said, yesterday I was in New York. I mean, we were talking about being in just off the, you know, you have Manhattan and then there's Roosevelt Island just to the east. And we would be, the site that we looked at yesterday is on Roosevelt Island. So it's one subway stop right to Manhattan, you know? And so it's really, if we could pull off New York, that would be amazing. It's just a matter of cost. And so, you know, we'll see what happens, see if we could pull that together. Yeah. Other than that, we're trying to make sure, again, folks are connected. I don't know if are there a lot of alumni from the Portugal session in Porto with you or anywhere near you?
Yeah, we don't really meet regularly. There are some people here in Porto, but I think more alumni are in Lisbon. Also, I mean, they started the Portugal space. So, I mean, there are people, but at least I'm not in contact with them. They are from different years. So it could be a bit better, maybe the networking, but I'm also working with Portugal Space to start doing some things here in Porto. So maybe then the connection will also get straighter, and yeah, we'll be able to do more things in the future.
it is really hard. I mean, here in Washington, I'm in Washington, D.C. Here in Washington, there's a lot of alumni, and we never see each other. But there are a couple alumni, there are a couple super alumni that really work hard to bring people together. We have a space cafe and stuff. So they're actually doing pretty darn good job comparatively, because in the United States, it's really hard. So spread out, like you said, you've got Porto and stuff. So it's a hard
I'm
thing.
curious. I'm going. It's already next Saturday actually to Tel Aviv to know how they are doing the things there in Israel. So I'm curious because they seem to be pretty organized and there are a lot of things going on. So it will be also exciting to meet alumni. There are like, I think 8 or 10 at least or something from my SSP. So, but there must be in general much more. So it will be nice.
Yeah. No, especially if you're going to Tel Aviv. Yeah, of course. That's where it's going to be a lot of this. That's going to be, it's like here in DC. There's a big focus, big concentration of alumni here. So, well, it has always been a hard thing to do. And you've really got to, somebody has to organize like a monthly cafe or something, getting speakers and pizza, and it's hard. So then you got to find sponsorship and you got to find a venue, and it takes time and energy.
Yeah, and I think in that way, actually, a good way of keeping up with each other is throughout the different conferences that organize around the world. So maybe, some things locally, but I'm trying to reach out more to let's say students and researchers in the universities, not so much focused on alumni, but getting, let's say,
that's a good idea.
Involved.
No, that's great. No, and you mentioned the conferences, that's the IAC and the Space Foundation Symposium are both conferences where the SGAC, the Space Generation Advisory Council, this is where they focus their events. And so ISU does too. SGAC actually kind of came out of ISU as a way for folks post ISU to maintain, connection and stuff. And so that's another, like you said, going to conferences and stuff where where the space industry congregates in its entirety.
Because I'm thinking like, why on this call, it's just me. I guess it's also that, I don't know. I mean, it's new, but it's also like in the conference, when you go for events, you kind of have a meaning of going there. So they know what they're looking for. And here, maybe it's a matter of also thinking what everyone could gain with that. Like, I mean, don't know, somehow some kind of dynamics, or either invite also another alumni to present, for example, what they have been up to, or because that would be engaging. And as they would be speaking, then maybe they also invite some others, come and speak my presentation or something, because it's a bit sad. Idea. I mean, for me, it's very nice to have this one-to-one conversation, but it's a bit sad. I mean, because you have reserved your time to be with the alumni, and there was no one from the region.
Well, it's hard. I get it. Well, number one, it's new and it's different. So, I mean, people aren't used to it. And the first one I did was in November. And then, I think every other month is probably a good sequence. But I mean, it's like anything, you just got to do it a couple of times before it catches on. And so that's kind of, I don't have a problem with doing this. And I enjoy talking with folks like you and, meeting new people. So that's not a problem. I like the idea of getting alumni guest speakers, maybe as an attraction to pull some folks in. So, I'll look into that. I think that's a great idea. Because it doesn't have to be the Ken show the whole time. I have no problem, just convening.
I'm just wondering, as I was on the previous one as well, then I was on the Europe one. I remember there was like when we were all present, maybe 7 or 8 people. I was not able to interact then because I was working, but it's I know that there are a lot of people here in Europe who are doing interesting things. So I would like to know about what they are doing, as I'm not going to all the conferences, but when I go, it's fascinating things that I hear. So it's like how this could be spread around a bit more, how to really capture the ones that could help to build the network for this kind of online events. So
that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I know that everyone wants to contribute back, and they are really like very open to help you and support. but I guess they are still not putting it in their agenda for some reason. So,
it could be a timing thing. It could be a timing thing, and people need to get the information that's relevant when they need it, not at some time previously. So it's part of it is timing. Part of it is making the right ask, asking the right questions, and like I said, it's just not an easy thing. And so we'll keep working on it and see what happens. But I appreciate your continued participation, this being the second one you're on. It was interesting. So the last one, so you were on a call, you said, with about 7 or 8 people, which sounds right. The third call I did had about 7 or 8. The second call I think had 7 or 8. The first one I think had, like this call in the morning, had like 2 or 3, which I did, which is fine. The numbers are low, but like I said, it was the first time. But I had 90 people register.
Oh.
Yeah. So so in fact, when the announcement for this went out, of course, I sent them an email. And maybe you got an email. I don't know. I hope you got an email. I'll have to go back and check to see if your address was on there. But what I could do is I could check my spreadsheet really quickly. ISU projects, Alumni Day.
I don't know if I received the confirmation email. I think I copied it directly from after the registration. So this could be also like maybe still to highlight.
Yeah, there you are. So Maieee at gmail.com. So so I sent you an email for this one, with the information on this one. But I mean, it could have gone into spam.
I received. Well, sure.
But I mean, but the point is that it's, just because I sent an email doesn't mean the information is getting through. Again, this is why, and it's funny you said that you heard about ISU on LinkedIn. I don't do social media except for LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is the only one I kept. Once I started my PhD, I got rid of Facebook, I got rid of Twitter, I got rid of all of that because there was just no way in the world I had time for that. And I'm kind of glad those are all gone. But when you get into a marketing mode, those are things that you got to have. So I kind of rely on ISU as the marketing part of things. And in fact, it was supposed to be a newsletter with the announcement of this Alumni Day, and it come out last week. And of course it didn't, because they were holding it up for other stuff. And so that's the way it goes. But but like I said, I had about 90 individuals sign up for the first one, which was great. It's just then something happens and they can't make it to the thing. So, I haven't checked to see who all registered for this one, and it could be that nobody did. So, if it turns out that I can't find good times and we can't reach get a critical mass going, after I try this 3 or 4 times, maybe we just let it go. But it's an experiment, if nothing else. But maybe right now it just has limited success.
I mean, I think it's a good idea, but trying to, or I don't know, give out spots for announcements. If alumni want to make some announcement, what are they organizing or something?
That would be a good idea as well.
Inviting someone to speak, like, I don't know, or maybe even get like nominations. Who should be able to present, or who has been, I don't know, who's alumni of the year, like who has been achieving the most in the space area or something.
That's a good idea. Well,
who has been growing most since they got the
most
alumni
improved,
status.
most promoted, right, kind of thing. Well, those are all really good ideas, and so we'll see what happens. If we start getting videos in from folks, I think that would be a good thing. We could play some of those. We could, talk about how to make videos better.
Or if you have some funding available, then you could ask, let's say, alumni the proposed local initiatives, and the best one would win something. And I don't know, someone would come from the ISU maybe.
Okay, that's a good idea.
It doesn't have to be much, but at least you would get the alumni network going.
Well, and that's important. I think that'd be important to see if there's a way for us to energize the alumni network, and again, to answer any questions that folks might have. And listen, I know that your time's valuable too. I don't want to keep you're on lunch hour, but if you have any questions or if you any ideas, you can send them to me, ken.davidian@isunet.edu. It's at any time, no problem whatsoever.
I will find you in LinkedIn, so
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. So yeah, no, I think these are all good ideas, and that's part of the reason to reach out and just say hi. I mean, I originally thought of this like hours just as office hours. You know, if people want to come in and talk about something, that's great. We can do that. I really don't, you know, I always can put down 2 or 3 agenda items, no problem. But and I like the idea of guest speaker slots. So maybe I'll look into that. Featuring
Having it as an
different.
office hour seems also very nice, because I mean, having this direct contact, someone who is available, that's very good, and it's very precious. So I appreciate it very much.
Well, you know, and you know, again, making it available is one thing. Folks taking advantage is another thing, and you know, sometimes it works out in people's schedules, and sometimes it doesn't. So I want to make it available multiple times to see if we can find the you know, the sweet spot where people can come a lot of time. Again, hitting China and Australia on the same time zone is really a tough thing to do. And I'm trying to keep it within the times when, you know, I'm kind of awake and I can do stuff, right? I mean, I can't, you know, I want to get some sleep from time to time. So,
Yeah.
You know, so once a month or so.
Well, I appreciate it very much. I don't want to also keep more of your time. So
no problem. If you want to jump off, that's fine. I'm going to hang here. And we do try
I
to
will
get
connect with you, and we'll contact with you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, May.
Thank you. Have a nice day, and good luck with the other sessions. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.